This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Minister. For years, CSIS has publicly warned that Beijing is threatening Canada's national security and intellectual property in 5 sensitive areas of research and development. Despite these warnings, your government, including through granting councils that fall under your purview as minister, have funded research partnerships with Beijing in the 5 sensitive areas identified by CSIS, as well as with scientists connected to Beijing's military and intelligence apparatuses. Canadians deserve to know how many such projects have been funded by your government.
I would say, Mr. Cooper, first of all, it's nice to see you again, sir. You seem to be following me from committee to committee. So it's a pleasure to see you. I would say, just for Canadians who are watching, I just want to say it's a bit rich to look at our government for that. You will recall that we're the first government starting in 2018 to really look at research security. You know, our work started in 2018
Minister, with respect, I asked you very specifically, how many projects have been funded? Just a number, please.
Well, I will tell you how many projects have not been funded. You can see...
That wasn't the question. The question was how many projects
I'm providing an answer
funded.
to you. So I can tell you since we implemented the enhanced security protocol, I would say the guidelines that have been put in place have been making sure that we protect the national security of Canadian institutions.
Minister, since you will not answer
Point of order.
my question.
Mr. Turnbull?
I totally respect Mr. Cooper's time, and I understand, but cutting the witness off when they're trying to answer his question is not abiding by, I think, the normal, informal ways in which we operate in this committee. I would just ask you, Chair, if you wouldn't mind maybe reminding Mr. Cooper of how we operate here.
Thanks, Mr. Turnbull, and to the Minister and Mr. Cooper, if we can get the questions and answers in a timely fashion so we can continue on. I've paused you, and you've got 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
Waiting for an answer. How many projects have been funded?
I would say I'm happy to defer to the official if you want the exact number of projects, but what I can say to you, Mr. Cooper, is that protecting Canadian research is a top priority. What I was explaining to you and Canadians who are watching at home today is that since 2018 we have taken a number of measures, and I would say we are the first government to taking steps to make sure that we have research security in Canada.
You didn't answer a straightforward question, and frankly, if this is such a priority for you and then your government, why is it that weeks ago we learned that there have been new patent applications published listed Huawei as an owner with Canadian university researchers as inventors? In other words, Canadian universities are still very actively in collaboration with the likes of Huawei, despite the fact that 5G is identified as one of the 5 areas of sensitive research. Minister, obviously your guidelines that you cite are not working.
Well, I would say with respect, sir, I'm the one who issued the directive to the market not to have Huawei and ZTE in telecommunication in Canada. So you're talking to the guy who made it happen. So you're not talking to some random person. You're talking to the person who made it happen in Canada. What I can tell you, and since June 2021, there's been no federal grant to Huawei. And what we did, Mr. Cooper, which I think Canadians need to understand, we set the tone, because since then, you will have seen, because I know you're a well-informed member of Parliament, that a number of universities, but just for the record, as they're watching today, the University of Toronto, the University of Waterloo, McMaster University, Queen's University, the University of British Columbia, and Western University have all adhere to our principle and stop any collaboration with Huawei. That's part of the public record.
You have the power as minister to issue a ministerial directive banning federal granting councils from funding research partnerships with Beijing in the 5 sensitive research areas identified by CSIS. Why have you failed to do that?
Well, I would say, sir, we've done more than that. We have issued guidelines to make sure that, our programs, sir, but if you want an answer, sir, I appreciate.
Guidelines that
If I can-
I put
if I
as much
can just-
attention in the
Mr.
question.
Cooper,
I put as
Mr.
much
Cooper,
attention in my answer
Mr.
because
Cooper,
you asked me a question. If you want me to
Minister,
answer, sir, I'm more than happy. That's why I
If we could direct the
appeared here.
questions and answers through the chair, as we said at the beginning, so that we don't get back into this back and forth and talking over each other, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Minister, guidelines that have resulted in ongoing collaboration between universities and Huawei, despite the fact that 5G is identified as one of these sensitive research areas, guidelines that have resulted in ongoing collaboration with Beijing's National University of Defense Technology, which has been blacklisted in the U.S. since 2015 because it was deemed by the U.S. to be a national security risk. And you're saying here before this committee that your guidelines are working. Minister, are you serious?
More than serious, sir. I made sure that they would work. Like I said, for the record, sir, and you should look at the facts. Since June 2021, there's been no federal grant. But one thing you need to know, but just take a moment. We're not at question period here. Just take a moment to listen to my answer. What I'm saying to you, sir, with respect, is that not only we did that, but you have to appreciate that we set the tone, and now we've seen universities and provinces acting again, because my role as the federal minister is to set the principle. And I would challenge you that in the Five Eyes, sirs, we are among the best when it comes to that, because we actually work with our Five Eyes partner
I would submit
to put
your
these
guidelines
lists.
are working very well for Beijing. They're not working well when it comes to protecting Canada's national security interests.
Sir, I would say with respect, I think the number of experts in the field would disagree with your assessment, but I respect your view, sir, and I can tell you my mission and my commitment to Canadians. And I have been on the record, sir, to be the minister who have denied a number of acquisitions that the government or entity related to the Chinese government were to make in Canada. I'm the one who defended our national security by making sure that there would be no Huawei and ZTE equipment in Canada's telecom infrastructure and 5G. Sir, you're looking at the person in front of you has made sure that we would protect national security at every step of the way.
Okay, Mr. Tucker, I understand you sharing your time with Mr. Perkins.
Correct. Earlier on in this study, Minister, that we heard from experts from the Royal Military College that starting in roughly in 2017, that the PRC activities started to pose an existential threat. Do you agree with them, yes or no?
I have not seen the report, so I'll let them speak for themselves.
Just do you view PRC's activities as an existential threat to Canada, yes or no?
I would let the report stand for itself.
It's troubling.
That I think that the
That's
report I have
troubling,
not
Minister,
seen
that
stand
you
for
do
itself.
not
Sir,
view the
I'm a
PRC's
lawyer.
activities
I would
as an
rather read the report
existential
before I comment on
threat to our
reports.
country. You say that you've been trying to improve things since 2018 on this front, so it's been 5 years. Institutions are waiting for this list. In February of this year, you said that it would be coming out soon. We are now in November, Minister, and you've said it's coming out soon. Whose ministry would be in charge of releasing that list?
It's a joint effort, sir. As you would appreciate, it's not the Minister of Industry which is drawing that. It's a number of federal agencies, intelligence agencies, and not only Canadian, but this is a Five Eyes effort that we're doing with our allied partner to make sure that the list is going to serve as a benchmark, not only for Canada, but I would say for the Five Eyes country.
Minister, we need that list. Minister, right now we have the full application of funding passed. There is groups and identities tied to the PRC that your ministry is going to be funding because you have not released this list. How is this acceptable?
I would disagree with you because we provided the guidelines. What we're looking at now is a very specific list. And sir, if I
Minister,
may
one
again-
last question.
Yeah.
Is it hard to make lists?
I would say it's not hard to make a list, but it's hard to make the right list when you talk about national
I'm going to pass
security.
my time to my colleague, Greg
making sure
Perkins.
that it's the right list.
Thank you. We've gone through that a couple of times. Now, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
About 2 minutes.
So, Minister, if I heard you right earlier, you said that the government started to take this issue seriously around 2018. Is that correct?
Well, certainly
Just
we
a
came
yes
in
or no?
office in 2015, and I would say when I look at the list of actions that have
Well,
been taken
I'm not
with
looking for the
first
list. I'm just
government-
looking, you said 2018 was your testimony. Are you aware that in 2015, the National University of Defense Technology, which is the research and development arm of the Chinese government for the Chinese military, was banned and blacklisted in the United States by Barack Obama?
If you say so, Mr. Perkins, I always say
So obviously you're not aware of that.
What you're saying
So
as
I
being
guess
the
you haven't
record.
been paying that much attention to it if you're not aware that
Sir, with
almost
respect,
9 years
the
ago.
previous
No,
conservative government has done nothing, sir. I won't take any lesson
If
from
I could
you on that.
interject as the chair, let's try not to talk over the person answering, and let's try not to talk over the person questioning. Please give each other some respect and some time to answer your questions and ask questions. Thank you.
So your answer indicated that you weren't aware, or you would have said yes. So over the past 5 years, the National University of Defense Technology, you've said since 2018 you've been paying attention, has done 240 joint papers and research projects with Canadian universities. Doesn't sound like your government was taking it very seriously.
I don't know why what's the question in a sense, sir? We've been the ones who have been, the previous conservative government has done nothing, so I'll take no lessons. What I can say to you is that our government is the government which has put the security guidelines in place. And don't take it from me, Mr. Perkins, take it from the experts. The experts would tell you that they would say, Minister, they came to see me. The expert would say, Minister, thanks for what you've been doing. You've been putting the security
Well, I'd like, can you table a list of those experts that have complimented you? Thank you, I'd appreciate that. Also, can you tell me if you have actually banned, which the United States, which President Barack Obama did in 2015, have you banned the National University of Defense Technology from doing research in Canada?
I would say we've done more than that. We have issued
No, that's a
guidelines
yes or no.
that would cover. No, but sir, that's an answer. We've done more than that.
Have you banned them?
We have done
No,
more
but
than
that's
that.
not my question. My question was, have you banned them?
That's my answer. We have more. We have done more than that because it's country and company agnostic and organization agnostic.
But you
Why?
have not- so
Because
you
that's
have-
the smart thing to do, Mr. Perkins.
But you have not banned them. Have you banned Huawei from doing research in Canada since they still have patents pending and research going on in Canada?
Better than that, sir. I have banned them to be from infrastructure network in Canada.
You haven't banned them from
That's
research,
even better.
though. You have not banned them from
What
research.
we have done, sir, it's even better. We have
So you've
provided a
not
framework
banned
that
the
would
Chinese
capture
government
Huawei,
from
sir.
doing research in Canadian
No,
universities?
but we've done more than that, sir. We've done more than that.
No,
That's
you
what
haven't,
is
because you haven't
interesting.
banned China from doing
Look,
research.
If you look at even the university
Guidelines are
have
not
decided.
banning individual companies. Why
What I'm
won't you
saying
ban
is
those
that
companies?
it's even better because
That's
we have
the end
framework.
of 5 minutes. I feel like I need a bell here.